The night was cold, the kind that seeps into your bones and makes you wonder if morning will ever come. On the outskirts of a quiet village, a young woman named Alicia sat by her window, breath fogging the glass as she stared into the darkness. Her bakery, once alive with the scent of warm bread and laughter, now sat nearly silent. Winter had driven the village indoors. Customers vanished, and Alicia feared she might lose everything. But even in the silence, her eyes held a quiet determination, like someone who had chosen to believe, despite the evidence. Every morning before the sun rose, she lit the fire in her oven, not because she had to, but because she refused to give up. Her hands worked with memory and love, needing more than just dough. They pressed purpose into the flour. She kept her routines, even when the world didn't seem to notice. That's what resilience looks like. Ordinary acts, repeated in faith. One loaf, soft and warm, sat alone on the counter. A quiet promise that not everything in life turns cold.
And through it all, Alicia smiled, not out of foolishness, but out of hope.
She remembered her mother's words. Hope is like a lantern. Even the smallest light can guide you through the darkest night. In a village falling asleep under snow, her bakery was the only flame still burning. The loaves left untouched felt like failure, but Alicia saw them as seeds, waiting for spring. That night, she wrapped the last loaf carefully and stepped out into the snow. She wrote a message in the frost, one only she could read. Hope is like a lantern. In the village square, she found Andy, her neighbor, shivering alone. Without a word, she handed him the bread. Warmth met cold hands. He took a bite, and something inside him thawed. Not just from the bread, but from being remembered. "Why are you so kind when you have so little?" he asked. Alicia's voice was soft but steady. Because hope grows when it's shared. The next day, Andy returned, not for bread, but with a quiet spark in his eyes. He told others about her. Shared more than just a loaf, he passed on the light she had given him. A trickle of customers came, and the silence began to fill with new voices. Andy stood by the door, guiding people in, not out of pity, but pride. The sign above the bakery swayed gently in the wind. Underneath it, a lantern now burned all night. Alicia sat at her window again. This time, morning greeted her through the snow-dusted glass. Her table, once barren, now overflowed with bread, flowers, and stories. One lantern had become many. Her light had been passed from home to home. The village square, once silent, now pulsed with warmth. People laughed, children ran. Spring was near. Andy worked beside her now. Kneading dough, yes, but more than that, building something with her. Hope is not loud. It doesn't shout. It doesn't need to. Sometimes it's just a loaf of bread, passed hand to hand, warming more than bellies. The world is cold, yes, but it is also waiting for someone to light the first flame. Kindness spreads like light, slowly, invisibly, then all at once. Even in the darkest night, one oven, one hand, one heart can make a difference. The snow melted, little green shoots broke through, and so did joy. The bakery filled with laughter again, not suddenly, but steadily. Alicia looked out the same window where she once waited in silence, only now she saw life. Andy placed a lantern on her wall, a tribute to what she had taught him. And as the village flourished, Alicia whispered, "When one lantern lights another, the darkness never stands a chance."